Hi everybody, I'm Sidd Gavirneni, CEO of Zeguro. I've been in cybersecurity for about 20 years now, both at large enterprises on their information security boards and at small businesses and startups. And I know exactly how challenging it is when all of these large enterprises, large businesses require small companies like ours to be compliant with their security requirements, with their complex security requirements. And it's not easy. So thanks to Reach 2020, I'm here to see if I can share some tips to make it easy for you and so you can close your deals faster with these companies and satisfy all of those security requirements. We'll go over why enterprise cares so much, how does regulation help or not help, and what can you do to be prepared or at least get started and close these deals faster. Over the last few years, there have been so many breaches, and quite a few of them have been because of third parties. Third parties are essentially vendors or suppliers for these large enterprises. For example, Quest Diagnostics. A breach at AMCA, the billing management system, led to the loss of 12 million records. Home Depot lost data about 109 million customers because of a breach in the point of sale system vendor. It's quite common, and this will keep happening. All of these vendors and suppliers, they're an easy target because they're small businesses. Last year, in 2019, 69% of small businesses had a cyber breach. It's a staggering number, 69%. And the average cost is about $3 million. No wonder all of these large enterprises are so worried about the security of their vendors. And hence, in all of their contracts, the procurement teams, the security teams want to make sure that all of their vendors are compliant with either SOC 2 or they have cyber insurance, that they fill out these 300-page security checklists. It's not easy. And what makes it worse is regulation. Regulation like HIPAA or PCI DSS, which requires every business which is transmitting, processing, or storing any credit card data to be PCI compliant. Or all the new regulations that keep coming up every year, like New York DFS, the Department of Financial Services, which now requires every business in the financial sector to have a set of 16 cybersecurity requirements. CCPA, GDPR, CCMC for defense contractors. The list is not small. So I can only imagine what any company will go through when a large enterprise wants them to not only satisfy their own security requirements, but also be compliant with all of these industry regulations. And security is not easy. Today, there are 3.5 million job openings for security professionals globally. And we as small companies don't have the resources to go pay $300 an hour for security consultants. And most businesses don't really do much about cybersecurity because they just don't know what to do. So how can we make it easy? Well, we just cannot. I wish we could. I wish there was an easy answer. But what we can do is get started and address all of the low-hanging fruit. The first easy thing to do is to define your security program. Educate all of your employees. Get a good cyber insurance policy. And run continuous vulnerability scanning of all of your web apps and websites. All of these are easy. This is something that we can get started on. It won't completely protect your business. It won't satisfy all of the requirements, but it's good enough for you to have a conversation with your customers about how much you care about cybersecurity. 1, to define your security program. Make sure you have all security policies. We have about 10 core security policies as a business, And these go anywhere from data security policies to an acceptable use policy, a backup and retention policy. The names sound complex and complicated, but they're straightforward. Create all of these policies, make sure that all of your employees are aware of that, make sure that they're reading those and actually taking actions to protect the business. Review these policies at least once a quarter. The security landscape changes every second. So the least you can do is review these policies, keep them up to date, and keep that full audit trail of all of these versions of your policies. Because that's what you will have to show your customers and auditors when it's time for an audit. The next key piece is to educate your employees. People are the number one, the primary root cause of all breaches. And how many phishing attacks have we heard of? For example, a friend of mine who runs a clinic in Houston, they had a phishing attack. The HR person sent out employee data, and the hacker then filed for tax returns on behalf of all employees. And this happens so often. So make sure that your employees know what to do. Find a good cybersecurity awareness or training provider, at least one course a month, but these courses should be easy to understand. They should be fun. You don't want your employees getting bored and never really looking at these courses ever again. Keep an audit trail. Again, if you want to comply with all of these requirements, an audit trail is required. If you are in an industry that requires compliance, for example, HIPAA, make sure that the training provider provides those courses as well. Then comes cyber insurance, right? It's one of the simplest things to do. Just get a cyber insurance policy. Most of you might not be aware that something like that exists, but like any other insurance, if there's a breach, cyber insurance will come to your rescue. Why do you want to spend that $3 million from your own pocket trying to recover from a breach when insurance can do that for you? All large companies are trying to offload the liability of breaches onto their vendors, and hence, that is why they're requiring these vendors and suppliers, small businesses like ours, to have cyber insurance. Every cyber insurance should cover for everything that is related to a data breach. So if your business is down because of a cyber breach, let's say that you cannot operate for 2 days. Cyber insurance will pay for the revenues that you lost and for all of the operating expenses that you need to recover. If you have a ransomware attack, cyber insurance will pay the ransom and help get your data back. It will pay for any fines. It will pay for all legal expenses, anything and everything to do with a cyber breach. So get a really good comprehensive cyber insurance policy, but be aware that you should get a policy that applies to your business, that is relevant to your business. There's no point in getting a policy for paying PCI fines if your company does not do anything with credit cards, that it does not store data, credit card data, it does not process credit card data. So why get a $2 million policy that is focused very much on PCI fines? So the gist of it, get a cyber insurance policy that's comprehensive, but based on your business profile. Now that that's out of the way, the last easy thing to do is just understand the various vulnerabilities that exist in your environment, in your websites, in your web apps. There's so many tools to do that you can just set, run them at least once a month, find those vulnerabilities, and not just find them, but fix them. I mean, that's the key. But also, get a good penetration testing provider. Now, penetration tests are a lot more detailed than just a vulnerability scanner. Every contract or most compliance bodies require you to have at least one pen test a year. So make sure that you have selected a good pen test provider so you're not scrambling at the last minute before an audit. Now, all of these things will not keep you fully secure. I wish it was that easy, but it's not. And that is why there are hundreds and thousands of cybersecurity tools and companies. So make sure that you also look at those. These are only to get you started. These are the basics, so it's easier for you to have a conversation with your customers. Buy some more time before you're fully SOC 2 compliant, before you're fully set up with all of the cybersecurity tools. You need resources for that. And up until you get all of those resources, start with the basics. Tell your customers, tell your auditors that this is what you have in place. You have a good security program. All your employees know what to do. You have good cyber insurance policy. And tell them and provide them the timeline for you to be fully compliant with their requirements. And they'll be fine. They will listen to you. That's been our experience. That's been the experience of quite a few of our customers. So just get started. It's not easy, but it's needed. And this will definitely make your deals go much, much, much faster. Thanks for listening to me. I know this was short. I was trying to keep it short and sweet. But if you have any more questions, please reach out. We are here to help. My email is sidd@zeguro.com, sidd@zeguro.com. Reach out with any questions that you might have on either cybersecurity or cyber insurance. Thank you and have a good day.